the person giving the message would touch their left hand. They put their left hand upon the right hand of the other person's opposite, touch them very lightly, very gently, perhaps stroke them. Be very tentative. No hard movements, just be very relaxed and just perhaps stroke gently. With their right, they'd place it upon the other person's left hand, and they'd keep pulling at their fingers. They'd clasp their hand firmly, squeeze it, things like that, as if to attract their attention. Now I would like to know from the recipient how the message in their right hand felt and how the message in their left hand felt at different times, and how it felt when they were getting both messages at the same time. Because between them there's a space, and within that space they were going to co-create something. I hoped they'd co-create something. Now, the person delivering the message, for him he'd have an idea what he was delivering. But it also depends on how it's received. And so my idea is that although the person delivering would have some idea about what they're delivering, it couldn't be become into a context of reality until it is received and interpreted the same way. And so their delivery would be an illusion. Now, the person receiving it, they'd have some ideas about what the message was they were getting. But unless it's the same as the person delivering it, then that must also be an illusion. So in what context, what would be necessary to make both those illusions a reality? And they would then have to combine and hypothesize about what message it was that they were delivering and what message it was they were receiving. Because if for one it was negative and the other one it was positive, what was the positive connotations of those messages? Or what needed to be done about the negative to make it positive? What essential part would be perhaps some metaphor that could be turned, that could be changed, could be flipped on its end. And if perhaps the recipient was getting an idea about I'm being nagged, I'm being bothered, something like that, then if you to flip that on its end and understand, the opposite of perhaps nagging would be loving. I'm being bothered would be I'm being looked after. And that should, I hope, connect with the message being delivered, which is that I love, I care, I'm here. Also, I have to think about a role play involving time and context and how it is really relative. And that means related to the message, the time and everything else, and that, perhaps on most occasions the relative part is here and now. And that could be perhaps based on something around the how the person set up the workshop, how they're invited to do something. You might have a belief that if you're invited to do something, you're going to teach something, perhaps because the other people who are coming along to learn, and that they may have a belief that they are also people who are going to learn, although they'll be invited to teach. and that perhaps they have a belief that teachers teach because they know everything, that pupils learn because they're always there wanting, so eager to learn, and that to split the role, then they'd have to move into a different contextual order, and that perhaps the one that would fit for them or be comfortable for them for a while would be the storyteller. Although in basic fact the role of the storyteller didn't really fit for them, so perhaps all three chairs would be uncomfortable. But the one chair that he'd find most comforting would be the storyteller's chair. But in reality, that although he seemed most comfortable there, it was really homeostasis, and that the chair where they wanted to be in would actually be the pupil's chair, because what they wanted to do all throughout was learn and learn, because they also had a belief that no matter how much they learned, the only thing they really learned was how little they knew. And so, to make them feel really comfortable, all those three chairs would have to bear different names. Names that meant that one person who was acting the role of teacher, storyteller and pupil meant that he could sit comfortably in all three, and perhaps sit comfortably in any chair in the whole room, in the whole theatre. And the only way he could do that was to label them with give them a label which for him would construct, if it was constructed only by him and internalised only by him, would be an illusion. But if he could connect with just one person in the room, then what he would have done would construct reality. So it must have a sort of a hypothesis around the people in the room about what would be the level or the label or context for those two chairs to make this person comfortable, which would also make them comfortable with them. I'm hoping the outcome would be that somebody there would actually say, well, friend, and that would actually fit with the label behind all three chairs. And